What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Second Avenue Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathon and Elijah.
I'm your other host, Elijah Venencia. We got to kick it off with some not so good news. We had our season opener for basketball this morning at 11, and we took the L. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it's an awful game. I think we played a pretty good team to kick it off. So, um, yeah, I mean, it was the team who knocked us out of the playoffs. We had that chip on our shoulder going in as well, but they just added too many pieces, too many offseason acquisitions for them. They were too tough. It was a solid game though. I wasn't like completely mad about it, but what were
Yeah, it
your
was
thoughts?
tough. It was tough. I mean, we cut it to 15 at the start of the fourth. We had a chance, then we kind of just let it get away. I mean, they weren't like really going like super try hard there in like the second half at all. They were trying to get like top 10
The right
highlights on
plays,
us.
yeah,
I mean, it was kind of embarrassing at some points. A kid threw the ball through my legs, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so tough." They were trying to throw lobs up the backboard to each other. It was just a bad sight. Yeah, I don't know. It's different. It's tough playing a team that plays that fast paced the first game of the season because we just
yeah,
like we're ready for that. Like I think we match up at the end of the season might be a little bit different. Not saying we win necessarily, but it'd be closer for sure. But yeah, I think we found out some stuff about our team. I think we'll be better next time.
definitely. There were some positives, but yeah, I mean, we'll just talk about what happens in 2 weeks. We got a bye week, the first weekend of the year, second weekend of the year. So
But yeah, all around tough. The worst part I will say is one of our coaches, Coach Stevens, he coaches from the floor, producer Dev, but Coach Blood, he coaches from the sidelines and he was keeping stats. It's rare that I see my own stats, like how many shots I take, but I about threw up when I saw my shooting percentage.
yeah, you hit them with the old more shots than points. That's always that's always a good stat line.
It's
But I mean,
tough.
somebody had to take the shots. I respect it. It's not as bad as it sounds.
It's not. And like at the end of the game, we were just like chucking up shots. Everybody was.
Yeah.
So you take those away,
Besides
and I
me.
think I
Besides
probably should.
me.
Besides you, Mister Zero for Zero over here, uh, I think if you take away those shots, I'm closer to like 40% from the field, at least 50% from the field. But I shot those shots, I didn't make them, so they're definitely part
Yeah,
of my
yeah,
stats.
we're not going to come here and talk about stats every week, so we're not going to pick
Um,
and choose. I think we established the rule, no stats.
I think we talk stats and they're good stats, but
Well, there's no assist, which that doesn't help me.
hey, I put up a double double this week off boards. Imagine telling us a week ago that I was going to lead the team in rebounds. I think I could have told you we were going to lose the game if I was the one getting rebounds.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, let's move on here to the second part of our intro. As we said last week, we're going to start doing a thing where we pick three songs to, show some love to. They're kind of our songs of the week. Kick us off here with your first song of the week.
For my first track, I'm Busy in Sirens by Saba. Really great track. And, I went back and I was just listening to some Saba and I was looking through and I was like, this is an intro track. This is a very good intro track.
It
Um,
is.
had to show Saba some love there for sure.
It's a good track. I need to go back and Real Snap Project. It's been a minute. I'll go here with my first track. I had Something in the Way by Nirvana. Last week I talked about how it was my goal to do 365, new albums or albums I haven't listened to too much over the year. And I was just feeling like listening to Nirvana. I'd never listened to Nirvana, the full album. At least I've heard the songs, some of them. So I listened to Nevermind for the first time and Something in the Way, obviously, from The Batman. That's where I first heard it. I'd never heard it before then, and it was fire in the movie. And then it got me thinking about the movie, so I started rewatching the movie. Have not finished it. It's pretty long. It was a good movie to see in theaters because like you're not distracted, but at home I just could not pay attention for that many hours. But I do want to finish it up sometime because it was a great movie. I want to watch it again. But great song, and that project from Nirvana. I think if you know me, you probably wouldn't think I really like it, but really enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely a great album there for sure. And speaking on the length of the Batman, it was like 3 hours. I watched a couple 3 hour movies. I watched The Godfather this week, the first time, part one and
Mm,
two. Very very solid movies.
I got to get around to those.
It matches the hype for sure. I'd say so.
Okay,
Maybe that's the this week project for you or something.
maybe.
Moving on to my number two track here. We haven't given them very much mentions, but this is kind of like as we are starting the podcast, we talk about this group Danger Incorporated. Really, really low key. pretty underground. You know, so if you all want put on, let's do it here, Johnny.
Yes,
But I
sir.
went with Black and White Angels by Danger Incorporated. Phenomenal track. You know, solid album. I really enjoy it. It's good listen. So
For sure. I actually listened to Diamonds by Danger Incorporated the other day when I was driving home from Bloomington. Great track. I just hadn't heard
that's
them in
such
it.
a
I mean, it's really their hit. Like if you had to
mm,
say it, they have a hit, it's that one. And it just hit. I haven't heard it
it's,
in
it's
months.
it's such a great track to drive to. Diamonds is like that is one of my probably I put it in top 50 songs I love to just listen to in a car ride. So
I would agree with that. It's too good. I'll move on here to my next track. It is Ghetto Symphony by ASAP Rocky featuring ASAP Ferg and Gunplay. I just happened to hear this track today because it's the 10-year anniversary of Long Live ASAP, one of my all-time favorite albums, a classic, in my adolescent years growing up with that. Loved it. Ghetto Symphony. It just like is a track that I have such vivid memories to. My specific memory is me and my boy Chalky were at basketball practice doing conditioning, I think, or shooting drill, one of the two, and we were just going back and forth on Ghetto Symphony, and it was just so fire, such a good moment.
great album there too. Like you said, the 10-year anniversary coming up. That's definitely one I got to get on the wall for sure. Moving on to my last track, we have Babytron, Jesus Shuttlesworth. So the story, just a great track. You know, crazy bars, of course, with Babytron. We'll talk about him a little bit later. But while I was listening to it today, I unfortunately got pulled over. Had to speed to the game. Beat the case though, luckily. So
W.
uh, yeah, W. That was just the moment the moment it hit. So okay.
That'd be an interesting track. If I'm a cop and I pull up on this kid playing Babytron, I just don't know. As a white man that's definitely never heard of Babytron before, I don't know how I'd be like, what is this kid listening to? But, versus if you're listening to some like fucking like Maroon 5 or something,
Yeah, yeah,
some
for
country. If
sure.
you're listening to country, you definitely would beat the case. It would have been no
Yeah.
questions asked. You'd have been like, go ahead. All right. My last track is from today as well. Santa Monica Boulevard by IDK. For those of you who don't play basketball with me regularly or don't know, I have two like superstitions about basketball that I just have become tradition and just become second nature. One, the last song I have to hear before I play in a game, like pick up, whatever, it's different, doesn't matter. But like in the league games, at least, Santa Monica Boulevard by IDK. So I had to have that one. And then the second one is I got to have a yellow Gatorade, probably a Gatorade Zero, though, specifically. Neither of which helped me out today, but I still stuck with the tradition.
Feel like I've never noticed either of those things. Might be calling Cap here. Might be calling you LeBron here.
Yeah, you'll
I
see.
maybe I just never noticed.
You're gonna see every
I
game.
feel
It
like
started. It
superstition
started last season.
last season. Oh my god, no, no. What? Before a game or before like you're playing basketball?
Before a game.
Okay, okay. Before a game, all right, all right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
you said
Well,
before.
so
Oh, okay, I was like
no,
every. I
no,
was
no,
like I've never seen you
no,
pull with
no,
a
no. I
yellow
said that.
Gator.
No, I've only done it like
No,
8 times or whatever.
okay, so
But
yeah, there we
like
go.
those last 8 times, yeah, that's what I've been
There,
on.
there we go.
Yeah,
Let's get
like
into our
cap over
topic for
here.
the week. Yeah, I was calling major cap on that one.
Yeah, no,
Let's get into the topic for this week. I am super excited here. We got Aux battles. We're tied up 2-2. Let's get into it. I'm trying to take a big. This is a big game here. I mean, if I win this, it's over. I'm winning 2 in a row. This is a home game for me.
we'll see.
So let's get it.
I think before we get into that, first we gotta. This is a moment. This is episode 50. We didn't say in the intro, but halfway to 100, we've come a long way.
Yeah, this is crazy. It's gone by so quick. I got.
Yes.
We'll talk about a little topic about last year and what was going on last year at the time. Here in a little bit.
Let's get into it though. Let's kick it off with the first category, which is a song from your birth month.
So for this one here, I had a few choices in mind. I landed on Gotti by Pop Smoke and Travis Scott, released at the tail end of 2019. It's like after Christmas, I believe. Surprise drop with Jack Boy's phenomenal project, and then this song is definitely my favorite off it. Can't say pop and forget the smoke.
You cannot. That's a hit. I was just going through trying to find different albums that dropped in February, different singles that dropped in February, and I did see Had Enough, and I was like, oh, I haven't heard that song in a minute. And I clicked on it. It was December, obviously. Man, I knew that was because I remember it came in on our fellow Range brother and Michael's birthday. Ultimately, I did find a February song that I was happy with. I went through a couple options. The one that initially came to mind was After Hours, the single by The Weeknd, because it dropped on my birthday. So, like, well,
Yeah,
like as my birthday was wrapping up, so that was a good moment, great present to close out my birthday. But it's not necessarily a song I'd pick to play on the aux, but definitely a song I bump personally. The song I ultimately chose, though, was Diet Coke by Pusha T. As a
ooh,
single, dropped last February, a track I was playing all last year, so it seemed like an easy choice once I realized it was a February drop.
definitely that's a great choice there. I was just going through the archives of all my Rolling Loud videos, and that was the one I posted on my Instagram
Mm-hmm.
story this week. So yeah, great choice there.
Yes, sir. Let's move it on here to round two. I feel like we definitely have a reputation as a rap podcast. We definitely do talk a lot about rap. Rap's definitely our genre, but we definitely listen to a lot of other genres. I mean, to start off the episode, I was talking about Nirvana, whatever, but this category is a non-rap song. Definitely a very broad category. So I'm excited to see what song you picked here.
You could guess for thousands and millions of guesses. You could keep naming songs, and you would have never guessed this. For my track here, this one always just hits. This is a nighttime track as well. Just driving back somewhere, driving to somewhere. I got "Need You Now" by Lady Annabelle.
Whoa. You are
This
right
is
that I never would have guessed
yeah.
that.
This is gonna either go really good or really bad. Like with the audience, I love the track though. I've always loved it. It's been like one of the pop songs that constantly stays in my rotation. It's always I have a bunch of songs saved, but this is like always in it at least. So I'm always
Okay.
bumming that at some point. I'd say once a week at least.
That's wild. I haven't heard that
Yeah.
song in years. From this category, I went with Misery Business by Paramore. This is a track that
Ooh.
we bumped in the car together a little while back, I remember. And it was with our boy BG, previous guest on the pod. We were riding around playing different songs, doing aux battles basically in the car. And I went with a total switch up from the rap we were playing. I went
Yeah.
with Misery Business. And then he came back with I Write Sins, Not Tragedies, which was a hit. It was definitely a neck and neck battle. But yeah, Misery Business, just a hit. I feel like it was on Guitar Hero, and that's like my first memory with it. And I just remember being like, yo, this bangs then. And then kind of just more and more over the years,
And now
I loved it.
now 15 years later, you're putting it into the Ox battle. So
Exactly. Look at that. Full circle moment right there. I think that matchup could go either way. We're gonna have to see. I mean, I don't know how the
yeah,
audience
it's
will
gonna be the
go
vibes of the audience for sure deciding it. So
for sure.
we'll see
Two
what
totally different
happens.
tracks. Let's move on to the next category. A song with a blue album cover.
This was like super debatable for me. I was asking Devin, is this blue? Yay has a
Mm.
lot of like blue to it,
Ah,
but I didn't choose it. We decided that it was not. And then another one was Nothing Was the Same. I was like,
that's
I don't
blue.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
didn't
blue.
know. I just went with something completely blue, pretty much. I went with "What's the Occasion" by Brockhampton.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the Booby Miles reference every time. Friday Night Lights, one of my favorite movies ever. So I need that. I need that little part in the video or in the poll.
Okay, I'll be sure we do that. I like that pick, but for this category, the blue album cover was debatable. How blue is blue enough. Ultimately, I went with "Come On, Let's Go" by Tyler the Creator off the Nego
Yeah, I
project.
was I was wanting one off there just because that cover's so beautiful.
Cover's
Um,
beautiful. Definitely a lot of colors, but I think blue is definitely the main feel on that. That's a project where I think you can just pick about any song, and I think it could definitely be a great fit on the aux.
Definitely. Really, yeah, like you said, really good ox pick there for that. Moving on to our fourth topic, we have song from a collab album. For this one here, I went with "No Church in the Wild" by Watch the Throne.
Ooh.
Or we had a discussion, "Fellas in Paris" is off limits. I feel like that's kind of an obvious pick. That'd be a crowd winner pretty much automatically. So I went with arguably the better song with "No Church in the Wild." Throwing Frank Ocean in there as well. Um, from another one of my favorite movies. Awkwardly didn't think I'd be bringing up favorite movies in two different topics, but off The Great Gatsby, of course. So
Fire. Well, for that choice, it's funny you mention You went with the better track between
Oh,
the
you went
two,
with the
between
best, huh?
that, yeah, between Fellas in Paris, No Church in the Wild. But I went with the best track off of Watch the Throne. I went with Otis. Otis, all-time sample, probably to me, my favorite sample of all time with that Otis Redding. I mean, just beautiful sample. And then just killer verses from Ye, killer verses from Jay. Fantastic track. Listen to it on the way to the game today as well. It's a Childish Gambino favorite, so I had to make him happy with the aux plays, and it was just hitting. It was already my pick before that moment in the car, but
Yeah.
that like solidified it. Like, yep, this is the one. Almost feels like cheating to go with Watch the Throne as the collab album
Mhm.
choice, but uh, it's
There's
just
some
too good to pass up.
yeah, there's some great there, great ones out there still, Without Warning, What a Time to Be Alive. So even possibly Kids See Ghosts for you, I'm never picking Kids See Ghosts, but
Yeah, I was
I
thinking
mean,
about picking Feel the Love.
Yay carried for sure.
I was gonna do Feel the Love, but that's like such a Pusha T heavy song. It doesn't feel like it represents a collab album, which not that's not necessarily the round, but this just feels like way more of a collab
Yeah,
from
for sure. I get what you're
Ye and
saying on
Jay.
that.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next category here. A song from one of our top 10 albums of the year last year. So we're gonna have different pools to pick from here. We actually both picked the same song. We both picked Silent Hill by Kendrick with Kodak. We send our picks to Devin before we record, though, just to make sure there's no overlaps. There's no like awkward moment while we're recording. And we both
Yeah,
picked it. So we had to pick new tracks. Excited to see where you went here.
I'm doubling down with Mr. Morale, the Big Steppers. I got N95 by Kendrick Lamar.
Mmm.
I
Good
really
track.
wanted Silent Hill, but I was not mad at choosing this because I went and re-listened to the album, or skimmed through the album, and I was like, okay, this is for sure the pick then. So
That's a good pick. That's a great track. Super hype, super hard beat. Uh, after Silent Hill got nixed that we couldn't pick that. Silent Hill was a track I was listening to a lot last year, but you know what? It didn't make my best song of the year. Walking by Denzel Curry did. So I think it was a pretty easy choice after my one pick got taken away that I had to go with. My best track of the year, Walking by Denzel Curry. Such a good track. Listen to it also in the car on the way back from the game today. And it was just hitting. It's a great track, a track I listen to all the time. I think you can throw it on many different occasions. Felt like an easy choice here after Silent Hill.
definitely phenomenal track there to choose. Moving on to our sixth category here. It was good that you chose this because I was in my Rolling Loud archive bag earlier. Just looking through, watching all the concerts I've been at, some of my best moments. This is like literally the perfect choice. And I went with, I've been very open about the best track I've seen live, best performance I've seen live. I got No Role Models by J. Cole here.
Okay. This is funny because I was thinking back to the last Aux battle when I mistakenly gave you no role models instead of
Yeah.
Tale of Two Cities. So now it's funny that it's come full circle and you do have no role models here.
Yeah. I mean, just not much needs to be said about this track. It's a classic for sure. So
It's a great track. I went with a newer track, a track I saw live at Lollapalooza the last time I went there, 2021. It was Tyler the Creator. Had a crazy set. Hadn't seen Tyler in years, so it was great to see him do some of the newer tracks that he didn't have released at the time I saw him around the Flower Boy era. And the song I went with is "What's Your Name."
ooh, great track there.
Great
That's my
track. I mean, Young Boy goes
yeah.
crazy.
That's definitely my favorite off of Call Me If You Get Lost. So great pick there. I'm super interested to see how the fans view this though. I feel like this is a very good toss up match here. So we'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah, definitely two totally different tracks. Kind of appeals to two different types of people. So, excited to see. Okay, I can kind of see, this matchup going either way up to this point. So let's get in the seventh category and see what's going to happen, see what the last one's going to be. This one is a song you'd listen to before a basketball game, in that pregame playlist. What are you listening to? It's very relevant to the start of the topic, and it just felt like a category that had to be in
Yeah, I
today's
mean,
episode with all the basketball talk.
a lot of these are your pregame songs for this week at least. For mine though, I went with "Stick" by Dreamville.
Mm.
Just such a hard song. Sometimes I don't know if I want to have that hard mindset or you listen to something a little bit softer, but this is somewhere I'm ready to go set some screens, dive for some boards and shit. So
Oh yeah. I feel like I'm pretty low key, so like I need the hype up. I need to be like amped up, like ready to go. I need stick. I need tracks like that rather than like LeBron saying he listens to like jazz and shit, like or
Yeah.
Beethoven or whatever he listens to. Uh, for this category though, I did stick with rap. I didn't go with anything too, chill to anything like that. I want them to do track, but it's a track that since its release has just been in the basketball playlist. That's Superhero by Metro Boomin.
Ooh, great
Great
pick.
track. Just gets that mindset right. You're just feeling ready.
Yeah, that is such a great track. Such a great intro to it as well. You can build up some hype. Dribble out the ball a second
Oh yeah.
before the flow switch there.
Oh
So
yeah.
great pick there. I'm super interested to see how this one goes. Um, I mean, hopefully a W for me.
Obviously, I hope the opposite. So we'll see. I could really see a lot of these going either way. Excited to see how the people, vote. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see what happens. So go vote. We're gonna try and have them up by 5. So maybe a little bit before then. Just be active on Instagram. Be refreshing. I hope all you guys are just staring at it, just fucking going up and
Yep.
down. So
Yes, sir. Make sure we're part of your Monday. The voting here. It's the most important thing you got to do tomorrow. Everybody knows that. Make sure your voice is heard.
yeah,
You
yeah.
want to
Make
get
sure
all
to
the votes in
exercise your
there.
vote.
Yeah, it's your civic duty. Excited to see what'll happen though. I mean, I don't know, but this is obviously a pivotal matchup. Whoever wins this one definitely gonna have some big momentum going into Game 6, probably sometime in like early March.
Definitely. We'll see what happens though. I'm expecting a W. I'm expecting a W the next time to close out the 7-game series. So let's just let it be that. So
We'll see. Come back next week for the results, though, for sure. Let's move on here to the news. As always, let's start with the releases. This is definitely the strongest week we've had for releases this year. And it's not that crazy. It's okay, but I don't know. I'll be honest. I haven't listened to any of these releases yet. Even Mr. Make It Happen, I've not turned on his album yet. I will soon,
I
though, I promise. But let's get into all the projects that dropped. We got projects from Babytron and 21 Lil Harold. Then we got singles from Offset and Hit Boy, Ty Dolla Sign, Logic, Diplo and Kodak Black, Party Next Door, Gucci Mane, and then Armani White and Denzel Curry. Solid week, but like I said, just haven't gotten around to it yet. I've kind of been busy. We had basketball. I was at a basketball game yesterday. I just haven't got to it yet. I haven't given that proper sit
Yeah.
down.
Babytron, it's a good listen. It's another good listen. I wouldn't say it's anything above uh his past releases or anything, but I mean you know what you're gonna get going into Babytron projects. So I just keep looking for him to just keep dropping, just solid stuff. But my point to make earlier that I kind of stopped myself with last year at this time, we had Dawn FM, DS4, Sick, Corday dropped a project. Like this
It
year
felt
compared to
way
last
bigger.
year, yeah. So maybe that's telling how the year's gonna be, or maybe it's just a slow start, which I hope so, of course. So we'll see what happens, but definitely just wanted to make that note there for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. I think it's just a slow start. I think it'll start to pick up here soon, but definitely last year was just so much crazier. And I don't know. Like last year, it was tough to narrow down 10 albums for the album of the year list. And at this point, I mean, there hasn't been a single thing that dropped that'll be in my top 10 albums of the year, which is crazy. I mean, it's only been a couple weeks, but still pretty crazy.
Definitely, we'll have to see what happens. Obviously, we're gonna keep you guys updated, so just stay tuned for that. So we'll stay tuned for end of the year rankings coming soon.
Let's move on here. Next one. Some not so good news. Boldy James was involved in a car accident. He suffered some pretty serious injuries, but he is out of intensive care now. So prayers up for Boldy James. Really one of my favorite rappers. Ever since I heard him, he's been somebody that I just always find myself listening to out of like that Griselda group. I mean, I think him and Westside Gunn are probably the two that I find myself going to the most. So obviously hoping he recovers soon.
Definitely, prayers up for sure.
Next news, it is finally here. The Coachella lineup has dropped. The headliners are Bad Bunny, Blackpink, and the man we've all been waiting for, Frank Ocean. It was always like pretty certain that it was going to happen, but officially seeing his name on the poster hits a little bit different. It just feels like something's coming. As delusional as every fan sounds talking about that, it does seem like it's finally time.
It's gonna be a great weekend for Frank Ocean to play a lot of his classic tracks. So
That's fine. If he does that, whatever, I'm fine with it. If I was there,
yeah,
I would just enjoy it. I'd just be
No,
happy
yeah,
seeing Frank
yeah, for
Ocean. Yeah,
sure.
I would not care.
I'm
Uh,
just, furthering my hot take, of course, starting a narrative there.
Oh yeah, but as a fan that's not going to be there, I want new music, so we'll see. But it's definitely a very solid lineup. I mean, there's a lot of other cool people here on the lineup. On Friday, you got Gorillaz, K Tronada, Metro Boomin, Pusha T. Then you even have like Saba. Definitely a pretty good day. And then Saturday, obviously Blackpink, definitely not my style, but good to see some uh K-pop. I believe that's what their classification would be, but good to see some love
Yeah.
for them. And they got crazy fan bases, so I'm sure a lot of people are happy about that. Some pretty good people though, like lower on the lineup: 070 Shake, Young Lean, Remy Wolf. Pretty solid day. Kenny Beats, his set would probably be crazy. Probably got to bring out some guests.
Yeah.
So if I was a fan, I would definitely be there. But then Sunday, I mean, obviously the best day. You got Frank Ocean, you got Kali Uchis, you got Dominic Fike, you got the man IDK. That'd be a crazy day to go. I mean, obviously Frank Ocean alone, that's enough. But definitely some other good people here on the undercard. Would love to be at Coachella, but don't think it's going to happen, obviously. But hopefully one day.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day I see Frank Ocean.
We'll get some crazy fits out there when we go, when we pull up. So
Oh
yeah, Second
yeah.
Avenue will be out there one day. So
Oh yeah, we're gonna be running it up. I'm just hoping a lot of these people, make their way to Lollapalooza. Obviously, I'd love a Frank Ocean Lollapalooza. Hopefully that lineup drops soon. I think it drops in like March, if I remember, like around spring break time, because I can really be in classes. Like, we're about to get ready for like a final or not final, like a midterm test or whatever. And I was just trying to buy Coachella or Lollapalooza
yeah,
tickets. But yeah, excited for Lollapalooza. My guess is Kendrick Lamar will be there. And I have not seen Kendrick, so if he's there, I am there.
of course, I'd love to see Kendrick again. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yes, sir. But when we talk about Frank Ocean being at Coachella, that kind of just stuck with you. One of your hot takes from last week. If you haven't seen that episode, make sure to go give that a listen. Go give it a watch on YouTube, all that. But one of my hot takes or predictions was that Donald Glover, Josh Gambino, will release a project this year. And it's starting to look a little bit more likely because he had an interview at the Golden Globes and he said he's working on new music with secret people and he confirmed that Josh Gambino will be back. There's a lot of rumors of Josh Gambino is going to be retired. Josh Gambino is not going to make music, but seeming like it's more possible than ever, or more possible than the past couple years at least.
Definitely, that's like huge news as well. It's been a while since he's dropped, so W news there, of course. Love to hear it.
Almost 3 years with no Gambino, so definitely going to need that soon. Some other news here. This is a not the biggest news, but this was a pretty cool thing I saw, so I wanted to include it. Miguel's song "Sure Thing" returns to the top 20 of the charts after 13 years. It's been going crazy on TikTok, and now it's back on the charts. But this is a track that I love. Like when I hear it on TikTok, even still,
Yeah.
I love it. But it's a song I've been listening to for 13 years. So fire that it's still getting so much love.
Definitely, it's crazy stuff there. It just shows the importance of TikTok in this day and age. Really, I mean, like that's just so crazy for it to get all the way back up there just off it going viral. So
next news, crazy news here. Kanye West gets married again. Apparently, I don't know what to say here.
yeah, I mean, I don't think they have had a wedding or anything. So I'm waiting for my wedding invite. I'm looking in the mail every day. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Yeah, second half will be there one day, but crazy.
Yeah, crazy news. I feel like that's about all we could say about it for sure.
I mean, he was just trying to get Kim back, like during the concert with Drake. Not even that long ago. Even like while she was dating Pete. So pretty crazy that now he's married.
Still gonna happen for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. And I mean, obviously, pretty crazy that anybody would like marry Kanye West.
I know,
with everything going on. I mean, that's just crazy. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
Just crazy. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Let's move on here to the next news. Lil Baby unfollows Gunna on Instagram. This is pretty recent news. I think this happened today, right?
Yeah, I just peeped that right before we started. So crazy stuff. I think it was last. I can't remember if I said it during the episode or what, but I mean, I knew Baby wasn't happy when he didn't welcome Gunna home. So this is crazy development in the story.
I saw a tweet just now, and it was like, sad we're never gonna collabs from these people again. And it was Pusha T and Kanye. It was Kid Cudi and Kanye. It was Benny the Butcher and Freddie Gibbs, and then it was Lil Baby and Gunna. And I was like,
damn,
it kind of hit because
that is
those are four pairs that I love. So it is crazy. Very unlikely to get songs from those four pairs again.
I almost threw Drip Too Hard on from the collab between Baby and Gunna on there. and then I saw the news and I was like, we'll just save it. So
Nah, yeah, that wouldn't feel right.
yeah, crazy stuff. But I think it about wraps it up for this week with the news and then the releases. Nothing too crazy yet. Like you said, last week or this week was better than last week. So let's just hope for much of the same this coming
Fingers
week.
crossed. I hope so. Let's come back next week. I'm gonna listen to Babytron. Let's come back with our favorite bar off of Babytron's album. You know he's
Okay.
gonna always have the crazy bars. I haven't heard it yet, but I know he's obviously that's just his thing. I know he's got some bars in store for me that are just gonna put a smile on my face, make me do a double take, maybe hit the stank face, something. He's
Yeah.
just really
Okay.
Mr. Make It Happen, really him. But yeah, we'll be back next week with a new episode. 5 artists that are gonna blow up in 2023. We did one last year, so we'll start out the episode by taking a look at the picks we made, see how we did, and then we're going to give you some new ones. I mean, some of them are going to be a little bit established, but we think we'll take that next step. And then maybe they'll be in the running for our most improved award at the end of the year. We'll see. But yeah, going to be a good episode, so make sure to come back for that, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.